Gerald Kaufman to this meeting, who has been a long-time friend of Kashmir, raising and empowering the voices of the people of Kashmir to share his views, and I would sincerely welcome his support for the British Kashmiri Manifesto and would welcome his signature and support for the British Kashmiri Manifesto. Sir Gerald Kaufman.
Thank you very much. I hope you'll forgive me, but I have a parliamentary committee at 2:30, so I shan't be able to stay long. But I very much wanted to be here because, as you have been kind enough to point out, Kashmir has been at the centre of my parliamentary activities for a very long time now. I was responsible for the first debate on Kashmir at any party political conference when I was Shadow Foreign Secretary. I have been to Kashmir on a considerable number of occasions, and not only Azad Kashmir, but I have been to the line of control, I've been across the line of control, and I have visited Jammu as well. I've also visited Ladakh. So I have had the opportunity of seeing the terrible suffering that has been taking place there. When I went to Srinagar, though the Indians would not let me go into Srinagar, they said there would be a riot if I went into Srinagar. But I was at a government guest house just outside Srinagar, and people came to me for 7 hours to tell me of their suffering, the torture, the rape, the terrible time in refugee camps. I saw a school that had been destroyed by Indian guns, and I went up to the mountain on the other side of the line of control from which the Indians had shot down and destroyed the school. I think that it's very important to have this manifesto because Kashmir has been neglected by the international community, and it is not only inhuman, but it is also stupid for the international community not to take action on it, because there have been wars between Pakistan and India on this issue. Both powers are nuclear armed powers. The head of the CIA said that confrontation was the most dangerous confrontation in the world. He said that when he gave evidence to the United States Senate, and yet nothing is done by the outside community. Even if they don't care about the humanitarian suffering which takes place in Kashmir, even if they don't care about the terrible infliction on the Vale of Kashmir, which will be full of tourists having a wonderful time, but instead people are terrified to go there. If they didn't care about that, if they didn't care about the suffering that we all know about, and on which I have heard oral evidence when I have been there, and I've been not only to Muzaffarabad and to Baramulla, and they wouldn't let me into Baramulla either. They said that it would be dangerous for me to go to Baramulla. Well, I would have liked to decide on my own risk. But I won't say I know more than anybody else in this room about this terrible subject, but I do have a very great deal of experience, and it breaks my heart. But having a broken heart doesn't solve anything. What is essential is that we push and push and push and push, and until the international community gets involved. This present government has said, the former minister who was dismissed, Alistair Burt, he said that this is not a matter in which this government will involve itself. But this government must involve itself. And that is why this manifesto is so I have signed it. I will make clear to the people whom I represent in Parliament and whom I seek to represent again of my complete support. Yesterday we had a Pakistan Day event, a huge Pakistan Day event in my constituency, and of course this was an issue yesterday evening on Pakistan Day, the exact 75th anniversary since the Quaid-e-Azam got the decision which launched Pakistan. I give you my pledge that I shall remain active on this and I shall not rest. Thank you very much.